Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. It is my delight to come to you once more today with a few readings of poetry culled from one of my collections, Peace Mongers at War. Actually, before I would start reading, I would like to share the editorial material here at the back of the book. And before that, I would equally like to hint that most of these poems are poems written around 2010 and published 8 years later. I think the publication was very timely because of the circumstances we're living in southern Cameroons, Ambazonia. And reading the blurb material, which is the editorial review of the book, the publishers had this to say. They write, I read, Peace Mongers is much more than a collection or a book of poems. It is the concretization of the indefatigable crusade for peace through lyricism that equally reads much more as a manifesto. The words herein strung dignify the victims of gratuitous violence, be it political, social, economic, or cultural. On the same scale, the collection comes across as a virulent vilification of the perpetrators of the acts of violence, which to the poet is never justified. In short, Peace Mongers is an ingenious and a gleeful dissection of violence that plague humanity more than ever before, and especially Ambazonia, southern Cameroons. All right, fellow Ambazonians, dear brothers and sisters, fathers, mothers, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to read the very first poem in this collection, which is titled War Dogs, like dogs of war or war dogs. And it reads very simply, the dog's back is never fun. It's never fun. Who is now dead and gone, with just the mount left behind, dazzling everybody blind to any other story that there is in their lone struggle to settle in peace. Around a pack of rabid dogs, after them, as if hunting hogs, willing to take blamelessness to the cross, on which innocence is all gain and not loss. For all to wipe their tears and bury all their fears, in the name of the Lamb, whose light outshines dog's lamp, through flesh and blood spilled unjustly, with just hope, dogs fall miserably, as the lamb, like the tiger, strike and merry make happiness spike. Thank you. Yes, again, thank you for your keen attention. And the next poem I would like to read for you is entitled Our Big Heads. Big heads multiply their blunders, canonizing, striking plunder, sapping from the tap root of nations to living nations in desperations, cutting a quarter moon smile on their faces, forgetting this is just one of those faces. The moon comes up weighed to blind the night and spin their heads to see the wrong light. and discard the masses as scum of the earth, deserving nothing terrestrial but death, which children in their dreams tear to pieces, like the tiger its prey as it pleases, just like of heads delighting in the game, blundering in our streets, looting, killing with no shame, defining that trade in favor of aid, unfolding their blood stained carpet of negligence on which they display claims of divine providence. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, another poem right here is Peace Warriors. And Peace Warriors is a very short poem, and it reads very simply: vampires shall fly for a kill, and shall their due have, not our will, that has spun and spurs our undertaking, the one that leaves them shaking and quaking. Vampires welcome for the kill, we shall send you back home ill, when our will has pitted your undertaking, leaving us like tree leaves in sweet breeze dancing. Okay, fellow Ambazonians, another read still from Peace Mongers at War by Bill Evans. It reads, or the title of the poem first is Our Leaders and Our Drums. And it reads very simply: they came with veils on their faces. We greeted and drummed their praises. When the wind brought the stench of their feces, our nation stood up to hold the disease. With our hammers drummed out, out, out. Yet to cling, 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 they crushed the crowd with their swords chiming a tune to bash our hopes out of tune. Hopes whose strength in non-visibility lies. Will the drum beat them out, 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 with the lies they had veiled with promises to bring in and unleash their hounds to bite and kill, within which they do, but our hopes are the last words, to usher them out and bury their swords. Stay tuned. Thank you. All right. Thank you for listening, for your attention. I'll read another poem from Peace Mongers at War. And this one is titled Inch by Inch. And it reads so simply: it was not just the feeling, inch by inch they came croaking on their knees. It was not just the sight, inch by inch they promised no fight, and we went to sleep. Then they started eroding inch by inch. Before we knew, they had signed up for a bench with bidding trouble. So we signed up for sandbags. They saw in us only rags, they would shred a piece. In their hopeless design, they dreamt we would resign. We drove them mad. Inch by inch, that long-awaited feeling started creeping in and stimulating joys of freedom. Inch by inch, their desire, we didn't give them back fire, leaving them no ash. The storm had come and gone. We have had our job done, raising the flag of peace, inch by inch, Out of the labyrinth we squeezed the plank on which stood their myth and on which packs fly full mast. Okay, I'll read this and one more to close this reading to give you an insight of the dreams of a poet and the premonitions, I would say, in writings, as I would say, or as to remind you, these poems were written 2009, 2010. We were not talking about Ambazonia yet, or we'd been talking about it. Nobody saw it would explode. But these things, poets, writers have dreamt it. I'm not saying it because I'm a writer. There are many other writers, there are many other poets who've dreamt, written about this, and these things are coming to pass. They're coming to pass. We just need to pour in their through their writings, and we would see exactly what they've had to say. This poem I'm about to read is titled His Victory. Well, the title is Victory. I want to assure my readers, first of all, that it is an ironic title. It is not really about his victory, it is about our victory. And the poem reads reads thus: seeing shark teeth in display drives to thinking of smiles brightening his excellent thieves' win. After promises so untrue and surreal, smiling for being propelled to the helm to steal from the miserable poor. Poor, miserable misery is all the poor plebs are left with as their history. The malapert having his way tricked to the helm legates a frightful Jeremiah as an emblem, with brand new eggshells nodding, not the dope, just before they come to see they've been duped. Behind shark teeth in display is a murder machine, giving not rodent's thinker time to support his chin. In pensive moodiness, bringing the world to come see how a sculptor's view dash to and fro across the sea, and his excellency in this battle won. So we would acclaim him murderer number one. When the West his deeds breeds those of a strong man, on them we trample as those of a hangman, and sing, hangman, hangman, your pay is hang, not man. Thank you. All right, I might want to end with this one, which is called Sowing Gloom. And it reads, in Cameroon, I hear they drum in pomp, victory so soon, receding in the depths of gloomy black depths, killing the sound steadily, their drum breaks increasingly. Our eardrums with such barren seeds, their victory sows everywhere indeed. Our eyes feast on the news they have on us as they buzz, themselves mad with victory over our well-being, fading their sound till one cannot hear a thing, like someone once condemned in Russia defied his country I would say not even hanging is well done in that country. Not even with their chance of victory over change, for which the entrails of our street we rummage till they dig a grave for their victory, exhuming us to come dance victory. Thank you. All right. I thought I would end up with the last poem I read, but there is one or two other poems I would really like to read. And this one is entitled String Puller. And it reads, the French, yes, the French are good to get us. They hoard our food, no, our petrol, and pay patrol to put on our thrones brigands, well trained in their bands to play just the music they love to hear. And when we run away from home for fear, to their street well leads our ears, our eyes without leads. Our eyes without leads send shock waves to the hearts, lighting streets without paths, all amazed at the deeds, spreading money like seeds in lights stolen from the pavements, with us dreaming not of payment, as the floor of our pockets welcome keys from misery brought by a sense calm. When the French had invited us, all we left behind was curse. Now with knowledge they feed our killers. That's why they can save us from these killers. That's why they are good. Ubiquity, outright excuse from responsibility. And the French, that's their stench. Thank you. Well, this would be the very last for the collection, I promise. And it reads, far from the Western Front, dead silence in the fields we hear of, knowing not would need shields to fight off the king of corruption, whose fair skin, with wanton impulsion, we're just skin. His muzzle sweeps across the country, leaving behind just draws and for free. You can see why we fear not, we fear no bully. Who would? We took the rear, being lonely, when in unity, strength certainly would have to find at length and willingly too. Away from noisy fields we shall trust no king from their swords guilds, whose gold rust. Thank you. I hope you did enjoy the reading.